Good morning everybody, and once again welcome back to the channel. In today's video I want to talk about some of the popular interview questions that you can expect or common interview questions that you can expect on Apache Hudi. So while applying for data engineering position, if Apache Hudi is listed in the job description, these are some of the questions that you can expect. So we're going to discuss that one by one in this particular video. All right, so one of the first question you will be asked for sure, and the most common one would be, what is Apache Hudi? Can you tell me that? So here is how you can approach to answer this question. Well, Apache Hudi, Hadoop, upsert, deletes incremental is an open source data management framework which allows you to efficiently manage large volume of data on data lakes. Apache Hudi also brings database functionality to your data lakes. Try to explain this in a most simple way as possible. Don't go textbook definition. Whatever is your understanding, try to explain that to the interviewer. This is how I would approach if somebody asked me, hey, what is Apache Hudi? This is how I would try to explain. Now, let's take a look at the next questions. All right, so the next obvious question definitely you will expect is, hey, could you tell me what are the table types in Apache Hudi? Now, simply answer with these 2 points. Well, the table types available in Apache Hudi is copy on write and merge on read. That's it. Do not answer anything further. Now let the interviewer ask you the next question. His next question is going to be, hey, would you tell me what is copy on write? You can say, copy on write stores the data in a columnar file format such as Parquet. So whenever the new updates are coming in, Apache Hudi will create a newer Parquet files, right? That should be your answer. Now, coming to Mergon Read, you can say Mergon Read stores data in a combination of columnar and row-based format, which is Parquet and Avro. So whenever the updates are coming in, the updates are stored in a log file, and later on by compaction, these are like compacted into the Parquet file. So this is what you can answer basically. The next question he will ask you, since you have given the definition to the interviewer about copy on write and merge on read, he'll ask you, hey, when would I use a copy on write versus when would I use a merge on read? You can answer this in a most simple way. You can say, hey, it depends upon application to application. For example, if the workload is update heavy, I would prefer using merge on read, versus if the workload is more append only, right? I would choose a copy on write. Now, of course, you can go into further details such as data latency, query latency, etc., but you can keep it generic as possible, right? So now let's proceed to the next questions. So the next question, related one, is going to be like, hey, would you be able to tell me a different query types that are available in Apache Hudi? Don't go on explaining everything. Keep your answers to the bullet point and then only expand upon when asked. So here is how I would answer. Well, I could recollect the following query types in Apache Hudi, which is snapshot queries, incremental queries with CDC, and time travel queries. And in case of merge on read, we also have read optimized queries. That's it. If the interviewer wants to know more, he will say, hey, could you expand upon probably, let's say, snapshot query, or could you expand upon time travel, or could you expand upon incremental queries? Don't explain until he or she is asking you to do so. Okay. So hopefully this made sense. So the next set of obvious questions are going to be, hey, would you be able to tell me what are different index types in Apache Hudi? Go by this, So Apache Hudi offers you to build a multimodal index. First of all, say that word multimodal index, and then say, depending upon your use case, Hudi offers you to either build, you can choose either a global or a non-global index. Global index offer uniqueness across all the partition. Non-global index offers uniqueness within the partition. Answer that. And then name some index type to him. So following are some of the indexes that you can use. Simple index. Then you can use the blazing fast, very fast upserts. That is record level index. You can say, because it gives you very, very fast upserts, right? You can definitely say that particular point. Record level index gives you very fast upserts, That's that. And then you can say by default is a Bloom index, which comes, right? These are some of the common index types I can recollect. Use that word, I can recollect, because at the time of interview, it may be possible that you forgot some names, right? So say these are some of the index type I can think of. And also Hudi offers you to bring your own implementation as well. So keep it simple. In case if you forget about anything, say these are the stuff I can recollect, so hopefully that makes sense. Now the next set of questions could be on table services, I'm assuming. Hey, we have a lot of small files. How would we manage that in Apache Hudi? So there are two ways in which you can manage it. You can say, hey, thank you. So here are the following ways in which we can manage that in Apache Hudi. Number one, we can do clustering, size-based clustering, meaning we can group these smaller files into larger Parquet files. We can either do it inline or async. Inline meaning after the writes are happened, the Hudi will particularly do that. Async meaning a separate job is going to do that. Depending upon the workload, if it's a batch or streaming, we can choose either one of that. Also, Hudi offers you to configure the file size. So we can obviously configure file size so that larger Parquet files are emitted. But tell him this, like if he asks you, okay, just a note, smaller files are great for write purposes, meaning you can write as fast as possible, but they're not good for query purposes because a lot of files, the queries are going to be slow. So, having larger Parquet files, meaning the queries are going to be much more faster. But also tell him that larger Parquet files, takes more time to do that, right? So there will be a write amplification cost. So if it's a streaming workload, then I would probably prefer doing it in an asynchronous job, okay? So make sure you say that. Then some of the questions is, hey, can you tell me what is bootstrapping in Apache Hudi? Answer it in a simple way, like, hey, bootstrapping allows you to bring existing data into the Hudi format by only building the metadata over it. For example, if you have Parquet files and if you run the bootstrapping job, it's going to build the Hudi metadata and use your existing Parquet files. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. And now if the interviewer goes probably into cleaning, you can say, hey, what is cleaning? He will ask you, hey, what is cleaning in Apache Hudi? Do you know? So answer it in a simple way, be confident and say, hey, cleaning Apache Hudi is a service which allows to clean older Parquet files. Now explain him by this. So when an update comes in, right, in a copy on write, newer Parquet files are created. Now to save the storage, to optimize the storage, you want to delete or prune the older file, right? We can use the tool, Apache Hudi cleaning tool, which will clean these older Parquet or base files. Just keep it simple. Don't go too much detail. If he wants to know more, he will go in the detail about this particular topic, okay? So keep it straight to the point. The next part he might ask you is, hey, would you be able to tell me what are the ways in which you can ingest data into Apache Hudi? You could answer this question in following ways. Well, depending upon if you're using, you can ingest data using Spark or Flink, of course, and then you can say if you're using Spark and if you're trying to think of a low-code tool, you can leverage a tool called as Hudi Delta Streamer or Hudi Streamer. It allows you to ingest data from various sources such as Parquet, CSV, JSON, Avro, Kafka, and much more into Hudi data lake in a streamlined fashion. So by this, you already said that you can ingest using Spark or Flink, and then you also said that, hey, there's a tool available called Delta Streamer, which allows you to ingest from various sources into Hudi. So great, right? And these are some of the very basic questions I can think of. Now, that being said, there might be more questions, right? I'm not saying that he or she won't be able to ask you these questions, but these are some of the very basic questions you may expect during an interview process. All right, so I hope this video was useful. Now, that being said, I do want to say about a couple of points in short. The interview could go a much deep into probably into concurrency or schema evolution and other things. Try to keep your answer generic and simple. Don't try to flaunt or don't try to show that you know more than the interviewer. Try to keep it very generic and simple and straight to the point. And if he or she wants to know more about that particular stuff, he will say, hey, what about this or what about that? I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you got something out of this video. And if so, let me know if you enjoyed these sort of videos. I can definitely make these more often about other topics in detail. Thank you so much, and keep smiling, keep programming, and I hope if you're interviewing for a job where Apache Hudi is used, this video will help you to crack that particular interview. And I'll see you in the upcoming next video, guys. Thank you.